there we go.
I've been asked to speak to you all about the effects of our government shutdown is having on agriculture. You know, believe it or not, this shutdown impacts more people than just the people in Washington or in the high-rise towers. It affects local people all across this state, especially the agricultural community. That's what I'm here to talk to you about, how it affects those people. You know, agriculture, ladies and gentlemen, if it's not the #1 industry in this state, it is one of the top industries in the state. And very few people recognize that. They're so used to going to the grocery and picking up a pound of meat or a gallon of milk, they think it's just a beer. That's not the fact, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard work for farmers out here in Kentucky across this nation to supply food and fiber to all of us. And so you say, well, how does this impact work against agricultural communities? I'm going to read you some facts. FSA, Farm Service Agency, many of you people used to know as the ASCSO, is the office of government people who help aid the farmers. Many different programs. Today, 324 employees here in Lexington across the state of Missouri. 300 employees. That makes an impact not just to the economy, but to the local economy. 64 field offices just had the state of Kentucky today. Field offices to assist farmers. There are 17 farm-owned teams that are not So what do? They process loans on Kentucky farmers who are not able to obtain conventional financing banks. And so they're the mechanism to help keep Kentucky farmers operating with a source of revenue. They handle the CRP payments, Conservation Resource Program, and the direct payments to farmers across the state. CRP, again, is the Conservation Resource Program. And incidentally, the day that this shutdown started, the Farm Bill expired. Well, whenever we do pick up again, guess what? And Farm Service Agency people are going to have to go back and try to implement the Farm Bill that was put into place in 1939. And you can imagine what that Farm Bill might do just a little bit out there. And it is. So instead of sitting up there and bickering over politics and shutting down the government, they ought to be working on other problems. Open the government up. Go back to working on the Farm Bill and the other bills and problems that this nation faces. There are 1.7 million farms affected nationwide. There are 85,000 farms in Kentucky covering 14 million acres, believe it or not, which affect 60,000 farmers annually. I think that's quite an impact on Kentucky.
Yeah, we want to vote!
Right.
Demand the vote!
Now, listen to this one. This is the one that I saved for last. And these come straight from the FSA people that are furloughed. $4.5 billion was scheduled to go out October 7th to Kentucky farmers. $4.5 billion. Kentucky farmers, not farmers across this nation, but farmers in Kentucky. Think about that impact. You turn that over 4 or 5 times a day, and you're looking at $20+ billion impact until the government reopens. That's nothing to sneeze about. And our congressmen in Washington and our senators need to come down to earth, realize that they're not in a cocoon in Washington And it's not affecting anyone because it is. $4.5 million. Not only is the Farm Service Agency shut down, but the NRCS, the National Resource Conservation Agency, will also be shut down. They're an agency that supplies farmers with conservational practices that they do on their farm to help conserve the water in our nation or in our state, and all the environmental things that help keep the environment clean. They are also shut down. So what's the answer? Well, in my opinion, the answer is just what you're doing today. And encourage everybody in this state, in this county, to contact the congressman, in this case, Congressman Barr. But it just doesn't need to happen in this congressional district. It needs to happen across the rest of the state, because the rest of our congressmen, except maybe one out of Louisville, and I'm sure you know who it is. That's exactly right. I wasn't going to name his name, but we know who he is.
I will.
Are all standing behind the people who are shutting down the government. 40 to 50 people, as I understand it, which represents about 2% of the population of this great nation, are shutting down this government. That's what I call the tail wagging the dog. And we need to encourage Andy Barr and all the rest of the congressional staff
To resign.
well, first we need them to support a clean resolution that will get this government back open. And just because they were opposed to the Affordable Health Care Act, they lost. It's a fact that it's already law, and how it affects the Kentucky farmers is that they will probably have access to health care that they've never had in their life. So Andy Barr and the rest of our congressional staff need to realize that. I've heard over the years, I used to milk cows for 20 years. Then I worked for the Department of Agriculture for 15 years. I have heard countless stories of farmers who do not afford the health insurance, even if they could find somebody that would insure it. And so this avenue will give them that opportunity. Now, if our friends in Congress don't like the Affordable Health Care Act, the thing to do, I think, is to, instead of trying to repeal it, jump in there, in fact, and fight, and look at what inefficiency may be in that program, and correct them. But do not do away with it. That's what will be known as constructive legislation. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this up. I've come today to speak all day. I can approach the canned speak, but I didn't feel like that was the way to go.
What's your name?
Stewart Gritton. I'm a former dairyman, former employee of the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. I've been involved with the Kentucky Farm Bureau for many years. I'm on my local Farm Bureau Board of Directors. I've worked with the National FFA program for many years. I'm judging the state program, and 3 years I've judged the national community health in Louisville. And if you're not familiar with FFA, I would encourage you to take a look at that. Both the greatest organization in the country you can imagine. And if you work your time to go to Louisville and see this action, that's a little off the subject. But the youth of our country is leadership cultivates leaders. And we are encouraging now to look at what's going on today in Washington and say, I don't want to do it.
Well, we need to elect people that want government to work. We don't need to be in the business of electing people that don't want government to work.
I have said for many years, we could send 435 people from across this country, the farmers, small businessmen, many different occupations, and I guarantee they can do better than what we've got now. Because they have a real sense of what it's like living every day, day to day. So ladies and gentlemen, get out there, call your congressman, tell them it's time for this to stop.
Demand a vote.
Thank you.
Demand a vote!
Demand a vote. Demand a vote.
Demand a vote! 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 Demand